Thank you, Ceann Corla. I want to congratulate Deputy Pringle for bringing the bill through all the various stages. Even in this era of new politics, there aren't too many private members' bills actually get to report stage and final stage. I think it's one of the few that I've seen in my time here. So I want to congratulate Deputy Pringle on all the work involved in that. I also want to acknowledge the work of Trócaire and the Stop Climate Chaos Coalition and other NGOs and organisations that have been very involved advocating for this, bringing it forward. And I know many of them are in the gallery today, and I welcome them to the gallery. And as Deputy Ryan said, it is great to see a full gallery for a debate that we're having today. The bill sends an important signal. It sends a signal to the markets and it sends a signal to industry that Ireland is beginning to get serious about climate change. But as well as being morally right, as well as being the right thing to do, there's also a very strong emerging economic argument for this and indeed for across the board. Not only is there an opportunity to invest if we take renewables, if we embrace renewables, there's a whole green energy revolution, an economic revolution as well as an energy revolution, an environmental revolution that could take place, creating thousands of new jobs in the energy sector, renewable energy and supporting technologies. So there's massive opportunity there. And also from a financial point of view, I think it makes sense because we're beginning to see more and more this phenomenon of stranded assets, where in actual fact fossil fuel holdings, fossil fuel funds are actually beginning to come under, maybe the risk profile is slightly different to what it might once have been. And we saw recently the World Bank actually announcing that it was going to, from 2019 I think onwards it is, will refuse to finance any further fossil fuel development projects, which is highly significant and again increases the possibility of stranded assets where people have invested, that shareholding actually becomes less valuable over time. So as well as the moral and environmental imperative, there's a huge economic and I think financial argument as well. It is a very important bill, but it is also only one step. It's very commendable, but much more is needed. Professor John Sweeney from Maynooth University presented to the Oireachtas Joint Committee on Climate Action and Environment last week. One of the statistics that he quoted from his research was that Ireland ranks 27 out of 28 EU countries in terms of climate change and progress being made. Second last, which is very far from where we ought or need to be. We're actually only second behind Poland, which Poland, of course, has a history of coal plants and fossil fuel. So many other measures are needed. Deputy Smith has a bill on the keeping of the ground, colloquially known as bill, which we support as well, which is needed, and many other steps. And as Deputy Ryan said, many of these measures are coming from opposition around the various parties. But really what's needed is a seismic shift in government policy, because it is the government that does have the driving wheel, and we need to have, they need to drive it in a different direction. There appears, from many dealings I've had, both in the committee on climate action and in the chamber, there appears to be an approach from government sometimes of managing the fines rather than managing the problem. And I put it to the Taoiseach last year on Order of Business one day that what provision was being made for the fines that would inevitably accrue from failing to meet our 2020 targets. And the Taoiseach's rather glib response was to say, well, we'll deal with that next year because it's not a budget provision for this year. We'll deal with that when the time comes, he said. Well, the time has come. The time is now. And we must get real, and the government must get serious about climate change. And if anybody at this stage, I don't think many do, but if there are any remaining climate sceptics, either in this House or anywhere else, the proof is in our own eyes. From the biggest snowfall for, 50 years in February and March, right through to the greatest heat wave for another 50 years. Even in the last 3 months, we're seeing it. The proof is in the pudding. We're seeing it right in front of our very eyes. So I doubt there are many left that actually that are sceptical on it. So look, the proof is there. The need is there. I call upon the government. This is a fantastic bill, and we're delighted to support it. But many other measures are needed, and government action is needed as well. Thank you.